Judicial Watch, they have rated the candidates. We'll have to find out why, and maybe we'll have that.
Well, it lists in detail why they are on this list.
Okay. Well, I want to know how I could get access to these alternative medias.
Well, I mean, you could just go to the Judicial Watch, and I'm sure that they have a...
We're back to the internet. Is there somewhere you can write?
Well, see, the thing about the library has a free service for the internet.
And free public access?
Free public access to like this television show. So there's no reason that anybody cannot get on the internet. There's no reason, because you can go right here to the library.
If I wanted a subscription delivered to my home, is that possible?
And you can get it, well, if you get on the internet, find the sources that you want to be delivered, and you can get it delivered.
Okay. Okay, sounds a lot easier. Go ahead, Jim. I see you trying to shut up.
I think what we'll do is organize for our next broadcast to make sure that we have a list that's scrolling that gives them alternative news opportunities.
Excellent idea.
We can name those for them, and they can start to take notes during our next segment, and that way they can go to the internet, or they can ask one of their friends if they can browse with them and find these sources of alternative news. Certainly if folks are on the internet, they can subscribe to these, and there is just thousands of alternative sources of solid information out there.
So does anybody in this group get their information from anywhere else? Obviously, it sounds like we check from the mainstream media. If you do watch it, we check the internet to see it's backed up. Does anybody get their news from just the mainstream media? Nobody in this group. And that's the problem we're facing, because we can back it up. So the internet has become a powerful, powerful tool.
That's why the government's trying to
control that.
And
if they think I'm mad now, let them control my internet.
They're not going to be able to. There are going to be alternative internet service providers out there.
Okay, but what happens when they do like they did in Iraq and cut the cables where they don't have, they have limited internet access?
Well, I'm going to go with
at all.
I'm going to go with they haven't shut these newspapers down.
No. They have shut down one.
So our first
there was an alternative group called the Spotlight, and then government shut them down.
And more pop up.
More popped up.
That's my point.
Fortunately, the Spotlight has been replaced. I mean, it just changed names, and it came right back bubbling to the top again.
See?
Right.
So what do we do when
it became this?
They're blatantly leaving out a presidential? This is not even like a local news, and they left off the lowest guy on the totem pole as far as, a county clerk, or not to say their jobs aren't important, but we're talking about presidential contenders to change the course of this country for the next year, and he can't even get a picture on the front of Fort Wayne, Indiana's newspaper?
Yeah, that is so biased.
I mean, I would even give, I understand if they say, his rankings, he's not beating McCain. McCain has more votes right now in some states. I buy that, but I don't. I'm just so frustrated. What do? Do we write our editors?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yes,
We make complaints.
I think you ought to also show or even read. They do, the Journal Gazette, I looked it up, they have an ethics code.
She did. She found it. And it basically, I won't read the whole thing, but it says, the guidelines also are intended to inform the public, I'm sorry, that's not what I want to read. News content. Good faith with the reader is the foundation of good journalism. Every effort must be made to assure that the news content is accurate, free from bias,
Oh.
Yeah, right.
Right.
and in context, and that all sides are presented fairly.
Can we have a copy of that?
Yes.
You can
I would
also
like
get it off the internet under the Journal Gazette
Okay, because
website.
I would like to include that in the body of my editorial letter.
Yes.
Oh, and it has the gentleman's name and phone number, Craig Klugman, 260-461-8853. We are going to call him today.
Say that again slowly so that the people can...
Well, I don't know if they'll have, I don't know how this airs as far as dates.
That's okay. We've got until November.
You're right, because we need to know that we're getting all the news.
At least before a primary.
If you don't want to vote for Ron Paul, that's one thing.
Right.
But if you can't see him?
Yeah,
We're not gonna know about
That's
it.
prejudice, that's just prejudice.
His name is, well, I'm so glad that you guys are as called as I am. I know some of you are still undecided, but I appreciate you understanding that we need all the information. His name again was Craig Klugman, or Klugman, but Klugman, 260-461-8853, and I'll give the email address. So if anybody, it's Lugman at jgjournalgazette.net.
Lugman, that's L-U-G-M-A-N.
Lugman.
And if you look a little further, it also says down here, if you wish to complain about an editorial, call this person too.
Yeah, but this is not an editorial.
Yes.
Oh.
Ours will be editorial.